Penny the Parrot was a vibrant bird with feathers of green, blue and sunny yellow that shimmered in the morning light. She was the brightest spot in the jungle, and everyone knew when Penny was around because her colors seemed to dance in the sun. Her wings sparkled as she fluttered from branch to branch, always eager to greet the day with a cheerful squawk. Penny's feathers weren't just beautiful, they were a reflection of her lively spirit. She loved to show off her colors, especially when the sun peeked through the leaves and made her look like a flying rainbow. She lived high up in a twisty-turny tree, nestled in the heart of a fun-filled jungle. The tree was her castle, with winding branches perfect for perching and peeking at her friends below. All around her the jungle buzzed with life, monkeys swinging, lions roaring, and frogs croaking in the cool shade. Penny had a quirky habit. She was a true copycat. If she heard a sound, she just had to repeat it, whether it was a giggle, a growl, or a silly sneeze. She thought it was the best game in the world. If you said, "Hello, Penny," she'd echo it right back, sometimes even adding a little twist or a funny voice to make her friends laugh even harder. Her friends found her mimicry hilarious. The jungle would ring with laughter as Penny repeated everything from the tiniest chirp to the loudest roar. She was the life of every jungle gathering, and her playful echoes made even the grumpiest animals smile. Every morning as the sun rose and painted the sky with golden light, Penny would shout, "Good morning, jungle!" Just like the sun itself was singing. Her voice would bounce from tree to tree, waking up sleepy animals and making everyone feel ready for a new day. Penny loved her world and believed copying was the best way to be a friend. She thought that by echoing her friends she was showing them how much she cared and how closely she listened to every word and sound. She echoed everything from Leo the lion's mighty roar that shook the leaves, to the gentle hum of the bees buzzing by. Penny could even copy the sound of the wind rustling through the trees, and her friends were always amazed at her talent. She especially loved to mimic Mindy the monkey's chatter. Mindy would make silly faces and noises, and Penny would copy every single one, turning their games into a symphony of giggles and monkey sounds. One sunny morning, Penny felt extra cheerful. The sky was clear, the air was fresh, and she was bursting with energy. She couldn't wait to see what fun the day would bring. She swooped down from her tree, gliding gracefully to the jungle floor where her friends were already gathering. Penny was ready for a day filled with repeating, playing, and making everyone laugh. But as she landed near the babbling brook, she noticed something was different. Her friends were huddled together, looking puzzled and whispering quietly. The usual laughter was missing, replaced by worried glances and furrowed brows. Penny perched on a smooth rock, her eyes bright with curiosity and her heart full of hope. She was ready to help in the only way she knew, by repeating whatever they said, hoping her copycat skills would cheer them up. She was sure her copycat skills would save the day. After all, she'd always made her friends laugh before. Or so she thought. But today, things were different. The jungle felt quieter, and Penny sensed that her friends needed something more than just a funny echo or a silly sound. For the first time, Penny realized that sometimes being a good friend means listening, understanding, and helping in new ways, not just repeating what you hear. Penny's friends were in a real pickle. Barnaby the bear loved berries, but they hung over a muddy puddle. "Oh no, the best berries are over the mud," he moaned. Penny echoed, but Barnaby just sighed. Squeaky the mouse had lost his cheese under a heavy log. "My cheese, it's stuck!" he squeaked. Penny repeated, but Squeaky wiggled his whiskers sadly. Gloria the giraffe's hat was tangled in a tall, poky tree. "My hat, it's tangled!" she cried. Penny echoed, but Gloria drooped her neck. All her friends were stuck and needed a plan. They needed a clever idea, not just an echo. Penny puffed out her chest, ready to be the hero. But repeating wasn't enough. They needed a thinker. Barnaby tried to jump over the puddle, but landed with a splat in the mud. Penny chirped, "Jump over the puddle!" But it didn't help. Squeaky tried to push the log, but it didn't budge. Penny repeated, "Push with all my might!" But Squeaky just bounced off. Gloria tried to shake the tree, but only leaves fell. Penny squawked, "Shake the tree!" But the hat stayed put. Repeating wasn't solving anything. Barnaby was muddy, Squeaky was dizzy, and Gloria was covered in leaves. Penny felt confused for the first time. Copying wasn't solving the puzzle. Her friends needed more than echoes. They needed a real solution. Penny realized she had to think differently. She needed to find her own voice. But how? Where did new ideas come from? Penny was determined to find out. Barnaby sighed, his bushy tail drooping as he looked at Penny. "Your repeating isn't helping, Penny," he said, his voice gentle but tired. The group had been stuck on the same problem for what felt like ages, and every time someone suggested something, Penny would just echo it back, word for word. "We need a new idea, not the same idea twice," Barnaby continued, glancing around at the other animals. The group's faces showed their frustration. Everyone wanted to move forward, but they were going in circles. Penny blinked, her bright eyes wide with confusion. She had always thought that repeating what others said was helpful. After all, parrots were supposed to echo, weren't they? But now, she wasn't so sure. What did it mean to have a new idea? She only knew how to echo others, copying their words and sounds. It was what she'd always done, and it made her feel like she belonged. But now, it seemed like her echoing was just making things harder for everyone. Squeaky, the little mouse with the big ideas, piped up. "Repeating my bad idea doesn't make it good, Penny." He gave her a small, sympathetic smile, but Penny could tell he was frustrated too. Penny felt her cheeks grow warm. She realized she was just making noise, filling the air with empty words instead of helping her friends. For the first time she wondered if maybe she could do more. Gloria, the wise old owl, spoke softly. "We need a thinker, not an echo." Her words were kind, but they stung. Penny's feathers drooped and she looked down at her claws, feeling smaller than ever. Thinking sounded hard and scary. Penny had never tried it before. What if she thought of something silly? What if her friends laughed at her? The idea of coming up with something new made her heart flutter with nerves. Her job was to repeat, not to think. That's what she'd always believed, but now, she wondered if maybe she could be more than just an echo. Maybe she could be something different. For the first time, Penny was quiet. She closed her beak and listened, really listened, to what her friends were saying. The forest seemed quieter too, as if it was waiting to see what she would do next. She didn't repeat anyone's words. She fought the urge to echo, holding her tongue and letting her mind wander instead. It was a strange, new feeling. She just sat and thought, watching her friends as they tried to solve the problem. Ideas fluttered around her mind like butterflies, but none of them seemed quite right yet. Repeating was easy, but thinking was not. It was like trying to fly against a strong wind. Hard work, but maybe worth it. Her friends weren't laughing anymore. The fun had faded, replaced by worry and silence. Penny felt a pang of guilt. She wanted to help, not make things worse. They were stuck, and her repeating hadn't helped. The puzzle before them seemed bigger than ever, and everyone looked to Penny, hoping she might have something new to say. Maybe it was time to stop being an echo. Maybe, just maybe, she could be more than what everyone expected. Maybe it was time to be a voice. But how? How did someone who had always echoed find their own words? Penny was determined to find out. She took a deep breath, puffed out her chest, and decided she would try, no matter how hard it seemed. She needed to think of something new, something that was hers alone. She let her mind wander, searching for a spark of inspiration. She needed to be brave, to trust that her own ideas could matter. It was scary, but also exciting, a new adventure waiting to begin. She needed to be a thinker, to believe that she could help her friends in a new way. Penny pictured herself as a thinker, not just an echo. Penny was ready to try. She felt a flutter of hope in her chest, stronger than her fear. She was ready to find her own words and maybe, just maybe, help her friends in a way she never had before. Penny looked at Barnaby, the berries, and Gloria. A new thought formed in her head. It was fizzy and strange, like a bubble popping. What if someone tall could help someone not tall? Penny took a deep breath. "Gloria, you are tall," she started. "Barnaby wants berries. You can reach." It was a Penny plan. Gloria's eyes widened. "Penny, that's brilliant," she exclaimed. Gloria stretched her neck over the puddle and nibbled the branch. Barnaby grabbed the berries, amazed. "Thank you, Gloria, thank you, Penny." Penny felt a happy flutter. Her idea worked. Now she looked at Squeaky in the log. "Barnaby, you are strong, you can move it." Barnaby roared, "Of course!" He pushed the log away with a mighty thump. Squeaky's cheese was saved. Penny's ideas were working. She was a thinker. With the log gone, Squeaky's cheese was free. "My cheese, you saved it," he squeaked, hugging Barnaby. "It was Penny's idea," Barnaby said proudly. Penny puffed out her chest. She was a thinker, not just a repeater. Gloria's hat was still stuck though. Penny looked at her wings. She could fly between the branches. "I can fly!" Penny announced. Her friends gasped. Penny took a deep breath and flew up. She navigated the branches like a little airplane. Finally, she reached the hat. Penny tugged and pulled until it was free. She placed it on Gloria's head. "My hat! It's perfect!" Gloria cheered. Penny was the cleverest parrot in the world. She had solved all the problems. She was a hero. All the problems were solved. Barnaby had his berries, Squeaky had his cheese, and Gloria had her hat. The jungle was filled with laughter and relief, as everyone realized how much they had missed their favorite things. Penny, the clever parrot, had brought smiles back to her friends' faces, and the whole jungle seemed brighter because of it. Gloria twirled in her fancy hat, feeling extra special. She thanked Penny with a big happy grin, and even did a little dance to show her joy. Penny had used her brain to help her friends, and everyone admired her for her clever thinking. For the first time, Penny felt truly proud of her own ideas. To celebrate, the animals decided to throw a grand parade just for Penny. They wanted to show her how much they appreciated her powerful words and her big, bright ideas. Barnaby led the way, holding a huge banner that read, "Penny is a powerful thinker. He marched with pride, and Gloria followed, her hat bobbing up and down with every step. Squeaky waved his cheese like a flag, giggling and squeaking with excitement. The parade was full of music, laughter, and happy cheers. Animals from all over the jungle gathered to watch the parade. Some clapped, some danced, and others waved colorful leaves in the air. They all wanted to hear Penny's ideas and learn from her. Penny's words had inspired everyone to think a little more for themselves. She was no longer just a copycat. Penny was now known for her original thoughts and her kind heart. During the parade, Penny rode high on Barnaby's shoulder, feeling special and loved. She could see all her friends smiling up at her. She sang her own silly songs, making up new tunes and funny words as she went along. The animals laughed and joined in, making the parade even more joyful. Thinking for herself was wonderful. Penny felt a warm glow inside, knowing she could solve problems and help her friends in her own special way. It was like discovering a secret superpower she never knew she had. Her imagination and ideas were her own kind of magic. She could still repeat for fun, making her friends laugh with silly voices and sounds, but now she knew she could do so much more. As the sun set and the sky turned golden, the jungle was filled with happiness and hope. Penny looked at her happy friends, feeling grateful for their support and love. She realized that her friends liked her best when she was just being herself. She learned the best lesson of all: thinking for yourself is an adventure, full of surprises and new discoveries every day. Using your own words is powerful magic. It can help you solve problems, make new friends, and create wonderful stories. Penny couldn't wait to see what she'd think of next. With her friends by her side and her imagination soaring, every day was sure to be a brand new adventure.